Kids Playground.
Hooray!
This is the Deron Harris Podcast. Here's your host, Deron Harris.
Thank you for joining me, folks. Happy holiday season to you. I know everybody's getting geared up for the holidays. I kind of am. We just went through Thanksgiving. It was all right. Learned some things about Thanksgiving I didn't know. I think I'm going to celebrate Thanksgiving differently, but we are coming up on Christmas, and I know that everybody's been out shopping for their loved ones. I know people are meeting people. New relationships start around now. Everybody likes to get cuddled up and everything. So today I'm talking about dating. I'm talking about datings. Now, I've been hearing a lot on social media about like what a man is supposed to spend on like a date with a woman. What's the norm? And I've seen lists of places that ladies are like, you can't take me here on my first date. So today I'm going to be jumping into why that is and my opinion on that situation, because I feel kind of strongly about that, because I don't date anymore because I'm married, right? And that's the object. That is the ultimate goal. I mean, I don't care what anybody says, but anybody who wants to get into a relationship or committed relationship with a person, they really do so with the hopes that it will last or turn into something that's going to be enriching to their lives. So with that being said, when you go out on a date with somebody, I mean, what are you looking for? I mean, what do you expect? What are you expecting? I mean, my sister said it the best. She said, when you first meet a person, you're not really meeting that person. You're meeting that person's representative. So everything about that person that you meet in this little honeymoon phase that you got going on, you need to kind of keep on to that, but kind of take it with a grain of salt, because people start to be who they really are, that I find in a relationship. They start to be who they really are at about 3 months. They start to be who they really are at about like your first argument, your first real argument starts happening around 2.5, 3 months. And that's because all that newness has worn off, all that newness and all that infatuation. Oh, this person, and you start realizing about who this person actually is. So when I'm dating somebody, we don't really know that. We don't really pick up on that. So for me, I know when I was dating, I was bad at it. As a matter of fact, I was really bad at it. I've been hurt like more than motherfuckers can imagine, but it was necessary for me to go through in order to learn what I did and didn't want, what I did and didn't like, and what I would and wouldn't accept, what I wasn't going to do. I'm not doing that. I'm not accepting that. I'm not taking that. I don't deserve that. And it took a while for me to shake off the novelty of having, a nice looking girlfriend or whatever it was. It took a minute to shake that off. But after a while, it started to not make sense why I tried so hard, and I didn't get what I was looking for out of the relationships that I was in. I wasn't getting what I was putting in, or not let me appear to be like I'm 100% innocent, because there were some instances where I wasn't. I wasn't the greatest person to the people that I dated. And I'm just going to man up and say that, because it happens like that. We don't always end up compatible with the people that we choose to be with, and that's okay. But it's important to realize that before you get way down the road. Now, that's happened to me several times where I've gotten way down the road, couple times in a couple relationships, and they really ended up just doing a number on me and put me in a position to where now I have to take medication. But that's a different podcast, and I'll cover that some other time. But from that, I learned. I started listening to different resources. I started listening to little dating coaches and so on. And, I had some friends that would give me advice, and parents would say, hey, why don't you try it this way? And I just really had to figure out for myself that I just need to calm it down and really figure out what it is that I wanted out of a person that I'm dating. So what am I looking for? I mean, right off the bat, let's just call a spade a spade. Everybody is superficial as fuck because we all start looking at each other, and that's how we determine whether or not we want to get to know somebody. Is it by how they look to us, like in the flesh, aesthetically? What do you look like? And in that, we all become kind of shallow because we all like what we like. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that. We all like what we like. Some people like, nice big people. Some people like, bean poles. It is what it is. Some people like tall. Some people like short. It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? People like what they like. But when you start leaning into somebody, it's very important to kind of figure out or try and figure out how to feel out whether or not you're going to be compatible with this person. What are these persons? What is this person's nature? What is this person about? Am I going to be able to sustain, more than a physical relationship? Because that's really ultimately what it comes down to, because that's what we're all looking at first. And let's just be honest about it. Everybody's looking at this person. Oh, we're not looking at this person to get to know their hopes and dreams. No, we're looking at this person to see what they look like fucking naked. That's what we're trying to figure out when you're sitting down across the table. You are working it, my man. You're working it, trying to figure out the combination to get in some draws. And that's okay. If that's what you're looking for and if that's what she's looking for. But if you're looking for something that's a little deeper than that, then you're going to have to be deeper than that. You're going to have to be deeper than that. You're going to have to see through all of that, and vice versa, ladies. You're gonna have to start, seeing through some of these dudes. You're gonna, because you looking for something, and you hope desperately that these things happen. But what ends up happening is your body count goes up. You start, all of a sudden, you've been on a date with this motherfucker, and then you liked him really, so you hung out with him for a minute, and then all of a sudden he ghosted you, and then this one you really liked, and you slept with that motherfucker. And the same thing for fellas now, because everybody's body count is just going up, and nobody really is creating real, long-lasting, actual relationships. Nobody's doing that shit, and not that I can see in the younger sector. Now, the older sector, because I'm older, I'm 50, I'm 53, I'm about to be 54. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I knew that I didn't want to be married and be confused. I didn't want to be married and be conflicted. I didn't want to be married and pulled in 100 different directions. I didn't want that because I didn't want to put, my partner through that. I didn't want to put myself through the hurt because I know what it feels like to hurt. So I wanted to make sure that before I got married, I was really, really ready to be married. And I was. And as a direct result of that, I have a wonderful relationship with my wife. We've been married 2 years. We're kind of newlyweds, but we've been together going on 5. And it just gets easier and easier. Every day is just a better day. Every day is, we do have some bad days, but still, every day is just a better day for us. And in that, I realized and I know that the way I chose my wife and also the way she chose me really kind of worked. The way, now, granted, we met on Tinder. Now, I know what you're going to say. Oh, it's the hookup site. And yeah, if you want to use it like that, cool. But my Tinder profile, I was standoffish as fuck, and she swiped right anyway. You know what I'm saying? I was standoffish because, my first phrase was, I'm not cash apping you shit. That was my first phrase. What else was it? It was sugar baby equals lazy ass, sugar daddy equals dumbass. And I just went off because that's what it's been. All these little people, sugar babies or whatever you want to call them, these people just want you to spend money on them. They just want you to spend money. Oh, you got to take me here. You can't take me here. I don't want to go here. I'm way, but oh yeah. Are you taking yourself there? Are you? And if you are, cool. But that still doesn't mean that I need to take you there in order to get to know you. I have to spend money. If I got to spend money to get to know you, then I don't want to know you. And that's really what it is, because our relationship immediately is not about getting to know a person. It becomes a transaction. You're looking for me to spend for your good time. And I'm not into that shit. Not unless I really want to be. Now, Have I gone out and I've spent money on, like my wife? Yeah, I've spent money on my wife. I dropped loot on my wife, but not on our first date. As a matter of fact, our first date was relative. I took it. The first thing I did on our first date is I took my wife, now my current wife, at the time I had just met her. This was our first date. I took her to meet my best friends in the world, my 3 best friends in the world. I took her to meet my best friends in the world, the 3 people that know me probably better than, and she said, I thought that was weird, but it wasn't off the table. And we hung out with my man Dave, then we hung out with my man Jay and his wife, and that's what we did. And then we got up and went to the beach, and we walked on the beach, and we talked, and we drove around. I burned some weed because that's what I do. She didn't, and she was cool with it. And we rode around, and we got out, and we walked, and we talked. And that's what we did. We walked and talked. And finally, I asked her, I said, hey, are you hungry? And she was, kind of. So I took her to a little place, a little pizza shop on the beach. And we had a slice. I had 2 slices of pizza. She had a slice of pizza. And we had a bowl of a seafood chowder, like a seafood soup. And that's what we had. And I spent maybe a total of $30. Yeah. And she drove because I had been in a car accident. But she still wanted to get to know me. Now, that wasn't our first meeting. She came to my job. And this is how we realized that there was going to be a first date. She came to the job, but she came to the job prepared to, I was the general manager of a jazz supper club, and she had called me out of the blue. Now, we had matched, and mind you, it took me a month to reach out to her because I was busy. I was just working my ass off. So it took me a good month, and like the day she was going to unmatch me, I sent her a message and said, hey, listen, here's my telephone number if you want to message me off the app. And she did. So we chatted and we laughed, and it was cool, and we had a great conversation, and we talked for a long time, and we talked about some serious things. We laughed is really what we did most of the time, and that was cool. So we didn't talk to each other for a couple of days, and then one day I was at work. I can't remember if it was a Friday or Saturday. It was a weekend night, but she had texted me and said, hey, I'm out with a friend, and I was wondering if you knew any place that was cool to go to out in Tampa, or is the place that you work at someplace cool to go? I said, yeah, come on by, I'll set you up. And, I'm the manager. I set her and a friend up a table in the VIP, which was nothing. I mean, it's not like the club was packed or anything. It wasn't really busy. It wasn't really like I was doing anything, but she came through. There was really no admission. So it was really like I didn't really do anything. I wanted to buy her a drink. She bought her own drinks. So I actually, what I did is I ended up buying her and her friend some chicken wings and maybe 1 round of drinks. And that was it. I bought her some chicken wings and 2 drinks. And that was cool. And she danced and had a good time. And I walked around and worked. I didn't really even spend much time. I'd stop back over there, hey, every now and then. Hey, how you doing? Are you guys okay? Make sure everything was fine. I went back off into the crowd because I was working. I was sort of busy. I wasn't really busy, but I'm running a staff full of people. I'm running a nightclub. So she ended up having a good time. We had a couple of minutes where we could, we stepped outside onto the patio, and we kind of chit-chatted for a few minutes and realized that we did have some things in common, and decided, yeah, cool, let's go, let's have a date. So the very next day, it was Saturday because I was off Sunday, and so was she. That's how I know. So the very next day, hey, come on over early as you can. I'm that guy. Let's start the date early. It's not like, a couple hours. I'm like, yo, we got shit to do. Okay. So because I'm a busy person, I got a lot of things to do. And this is basically who I am. This is an excerpt out of my life. And I try and remember what my sister told me in the respect of when you first meet a person, you're not really meeting that person. You're meeting that person's representative. So what I tried to do is show Yvonne what a day in the life of me was like. What did I do? What do I do for fun? Where do I go? Now, granted, a couple weeks before that, I had crashed my car, so I couldn't really drive. So she was very willing to see or get to know my routine. And so the first thing, like I said, we went and visited with my best friends, and we did that for a while. We had a couple of drinks there, and then we went down the beach and walked, and we just really, really, really ended up getting to know each other. Simple as that. And I feel like this today. And I don't know if she'll tell you the same, but I feel like that. I don't feel like I had to spend any money to get to know my wife. You feel me? So anybody out there who's sitting across from you talking about oh, you got to buy this for me, you got to buy that for me. You know, you got your little baby hair popping and your little lip gloss and your little nails done and your little tight ass fluorescent green skirt on or whatever, whatever you got on. If you got somebody like that sitting across from you, I advise you, my man, to get the fuck up and walk out. That's what I'm gonna say. Get the fuck up and walk out. I mean, it's so crazy how people are disrespectful anyway. And it's not just, I'm not just gonna say black chicks, it's everybody. It's white chicks, it's Latin chicks, it's even Asian chicks, Indian chicks. These chicks is out digging for gold. The younger they are, and it really is the social media generation, they're out seeing these people flashing on social media, and Twitter is the fucking porn spot. I mean, it's so fucking ridiculous to just see all this manipulation. And it's so fucking funny to watch all these motherfuckers that don't mind being manipulated. You'll drop $200 if you think you're gonna get some ass. And that's really what it boils down to. I mean, how much money? And a lot of these women ain't got no intention on getting no ass. They got 3 and 4 motherfuckers that they do this to, or they find another motherfucker next week, or the week after that. Maybe they take a week off. These bitches do this shit for a fucking living. Pay my bills. Man, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Pay my bills.
Go on then. Just go. Go north. Go south. Go here.
Go there.
Go uptown. Go downtown. This is not downtown. Go back to basics. Go fish. Then go fish. Go down memory lane. Just make sure you share the lane. Go dance like no one's watching. Go where you're absolutely sure that no one's watching. Go say I do. Then go out there and do it. Go Bears! Go Wolves! That's a wolf. Go, 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 go. And at the end of the day, when your tank is running low,
Go to sleep.
because tomorrow, we go on again.
Now, back to the Deron Harris Podcast.
Yo, what's good, folks? Welcome back to the Deron Harris Podcast. Ooh, today we are talking about dating and where women don't want to go on their first date. What should you do? What's appropriate? Should you spend money? Should you not spend money? Should you put out? Should you not put out? What is appropriate on the first date? Well, I have some strong feelings about that shit. I really do, because I think a lot of it is rooted in, I mean, people just out trying to get money now. And it's not like they want to be in a relationship with anybody. They don't give a fuck who it is, as long as they give them what they're looking for. And that, folks, is just homegrown narcissism. You're just a douchebag. You're just a self-centered, arrogant douchebag. And don't get me wrong, it's men who do this shit too. It's men who do the same shit to women. They'll go out and have a lady pay for their whole shit and just ghost a bitch or what. I mean, it's dudes that do the same shit. It's women that are that needy, or that they are looking for love on that level. But there are so many people out there that it really is very few and far between when you find good people, because everybody, I'm just convinced, everybody is out here doing each other just dirty as fuck. So, but women they've come up and comprised a list of places where they don't want to go, or you should not take them on your first date. So Number one is the Cheesecake Factory. Now, I've never been to Cheesecake Factory. I have had a piece of cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory, which I thought was quite good. And, all right, then. I mean, if you don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory, cool. I'm going to go because the cheesecake is fucking great. If you want to meet up after that and you want to just go ahead and get yourself something to eat, you could do that. But I'm going to go to Cheesecake Factory because, like I said, the cheesecake is good, and I'm pretty sure some of the other food's good too. I don't know. It's just me. Number two is Applebee's. Now, I can almost agree with this, but, yo, I don't give a fuck, man. If I'm hungry and Applebee's is, yo, for real, let's eat. Especially if somebody else is deciding that they want to pay for it. You know, who the fuck am I to say how you spend your money? Now, if I wanted to go buy you a shit sandwich, you know, if I wanted to do that, then maybe you might want to protest, but some fucking riblets, a Bourbon Street steak, shit, every day. And you know what else? Applebee's got liquor too. So just in case you want to have a little bit of a drink, everybody wants to go to these fucking 5-star restaurants talking about some Veuve Clicquot. Motherfucker, shut up. Don't even know what the fuck you're saying. You don't even know how to pronounce the shit you want motherfuckers to take you to eat. Get that shit right first, okay? Veuve Clicquot. Shut the fuck up. Chili's. Chili's is in Applebee's. I'll still eat at Chili's. I used to work at both Chili's and Applebee's. Chili's and Applebee's both have liquor. Chili's used to have a cheeseburger that I liked really good called the Chili's Trip. It was a cheeseburger, first cheeseburger I had that had chili on it. And I thought that shit was great. Now, if you don't want that, that's fucking great. And again, if you want to meet up after that, cool. But I'm going to fucking Chili's. Okay? If you want to go, you're more than welcome to come. But if not, that's cool. I'll see you afterward. Chipotle. My wife's favorite restaurant is Chipotle, and probably would have been A-okay if we went there and got some chips and guac. She probably would have thought I was like one of the psychic friends if I did that. And besides, the food is healthy. It's good for you. Some of it. The guacamole is good for you. They make it there. And I'm telling you, I mean, I'd rather go to Chipotle than Popeyes any fucking day. Okay? I'm just going to say that like that. I'm just going to put that out there. Especially if I'm not really eating. I mean, what the fuck are you eating at home? What do you have at home? All these people out here, I can't eat at the Cheesecake Factory. I'd like to go and see what the fuck you have in your refrigerator. What do you have in your pantry? What the fuck did you cook last night? Did you cook macaroni and cheese and tuna, bitch? Is that what the fuck you had? And you don't want to go eat at Cheesecake Factory? Shut the fuck up. I'm so over this shit. The Olive Garden, again, is Italian Applebee's, as a social media creator had said. I thought it was funny. But the movies, my wife and I, we enjoy the movies. I've gone on movies on first dates. But again, I won't go out with somebody like that. I won't go out with somebody who puts constraints on what I can or can't do, or what I'm able to provide, or what I can't do that. I cannot give you the time of fucking day, as a matter of fact. Because if my heart says this, I like you, this is the best I could do, or this is all I've ever been exposed to. Maybe Cheesecake Factory is a fine restaurant for me, but I like you so much, I'm willing to spend whatever money I have to take you to the best place I know of. But you're going to throw that back in my fucking face because you don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory. Bitch, then you could take your ass to fucking Popeyes. How about that? So, the movies, I don't think that's, like I said, if you want to go see a movie, I'll take you. Yeah, let's go to, you want to go see a movie? Sure, let's do that. Or you want to go bowling? Let's fucking do that. I don't give a fuck. Because it's not about the activity. Because really, the object is to get to know this person. Personally, I would like to just sit and talk to you. Maybe over a cup of coffee or something. Let's sit in the park. I'll meet you. I'll buy you a soda. How about that? Want to get a hot dog? Maybe sit in the park and talk for an hour. Find out where your head is. For real. If you obsessed with the fact that we're sitting in a park drinking a soda, eating a fucking hot dog, then maybe you're not the fucking person for me. Maybe I'm not the person for you. And that's fine. Number 7 is your house. Well, to a degree, I can believe that. You know, a lot of women, they don't want to go to your house. And sometimes I could get that. But you know what, though? On the first date with my wife, guess where we ended up? My house. You know why? Because, one, I was a gentleman who was sincere, who really wanted to get to know her. I really did. And number 2, she kind of initiated it. She said it was okay. She had made up her mind, made a decision. Hey, here it is. And we had a wonderful time. I respected that. I respected that. And that's where it comes from, folks, is the lack of fucking respect. On both parts. It's been on both parts. So many people have bought dinner and expected to get, laid, or been bought dinner and expected to just waltz the fuck off without. I mean, what is the right etiquette? And I'll tell you what the right etiquette is right now, folks. For no one to spend any money on your first date. If you have to spend money on your first date to be entertained with each other, there's a fucking problem. There's a fucking problem. If somebody is demanding that you spend money on them on your first encounter with this person, fucking run. Run. Get the fuck out of here. Kick rocks. For real. Because I don't need to pay for you. I don't need to pay to get to, I shouldn't have to pay to get to know you. Who the fuck are you? Just like, who the fuck am I? Nobody should have to pay to get to know anybody. You should just want to get to know the person that you like. Because at the end of the day, that's what our relationship is going to be based on. You know that, right? Oh, yeah, so I bought $200 dinner, and then next week, oh, can I get my nails done? And you pay for that. And then next week, oh, my lights, and then you pay for that, and so on and so forth. And it keeps, and then before you know it, they don't even they fucking somebody else while you paying their bills. And that shit happens regularly. It's happening right now to somebody, to a lot of somebodies. And that's what's going on. I'm just exposing this shit for what it is because it's a fucking thing now because it's so funny. Women, the women that do this, they really, really, really are full of themselves. They are full of themselves that I should spend my money on a complete stranger. You're a stranger. I'm supposed to spend my money on you, and I don't even know you. Supposed to go out. What if, all right, hour into the dinner, I done spent $200. And all right, then, and I never see your ass again. I'm out $200 fucking dollars. That's like flushing $200 down the fucking toilet. I'm not doing that. And no man in their right mind would do that. But no woman in their right mind would expect a man to do that. They would expect a man to, be gentlemanly, to be cordial, to be nice, to be sincere. That's what they should expect from the man. But instead, what they do is they expect him to peel his wallet open and pay for every single thing that they order. Some of these chicks be eating like they ain't never ate in their fucking life. Like, what? This is fucking food? This is fucking great. And it's just, come on, man. It's disrespectful. So moving right along, any fast food chain, Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, Red Lobster, a buffet. Now, bite your fucking tongue because my wife, one of the things we love is we love buffets. And country buffets are our thing. That's what we do. We go and actively search out a country buffet. Now, you want me to spend $200 fucking dollars, but you don't want to go to the fucking buffet. How about this? Okay, especially if you want me to pay. All right, you want me to pay. You want me to pay for your time and attention. Then I'm gonna pay for where the fuck we want to go. Period. I'm gonna pay for I'm gonna pay for this. We're gonna come to a compromise. Oh, we'll take. No, I don't want to go there. Simple as that. Why? Because I'm paying, and I don't want to eat that. And I don't want to be rude, but I don't want to eat there. Now, if we could go eat over here, oh, you don't want to eat that? Cool. Then we won't eat there either. But if I'm paying, you know what I'm saying? Then I get to lean into what I want to eat. Now, if we want to split it and go Dutch, like a lot of people do. A lot of people say, but then that's just so sterile and really cold. And all right, thank you. It seems like a fucking handshake for a date. That's the kind of date that you end with a fucking handshake. All right, you have a good night. I'll see you in the office. It's just not the kind of date that I really want to be on. I don't want a woman paying for me. I don't want to pay it on the first date. I don't want my wife paying for my first date. You know, but actually what happened is I bought a drink, she bought a drink. I bought a drink, she bought a drink. We hung the fuck out. We had a fucking blast. We really did. We really did. She lost her glasses on the beach and everything. This shit was good. We had a great time. And that's because there were no expectations. We didn't expect anything from each other. The only thing I expected her to do was be herself. And I didn't really even expect that because of what my sister told me. But I was pleasantly surprised when she was and still is exactly who she said she was. Simple as that. And the same thing I was to her. And that because of what my sister said, I was to her how I am for real, because I wanted her to get to know and understand this is who, and that's why I have my friends around me to back me up to say, this motherfucker ain't really like this. He's a different person. He's acting like this because you're here. But that's what I did on purpose, though. I brought her around my friends so that I wouldn't act different, so that I wouldn't try to put on some facade, so I could be checked and she could see this is the real me. This is who you get. This is who you get. And this is who she chose. And we're happy. And we don't beef about it. You know, I mean, the one thing we beef about is where the fuck we're going to eat. That's the one thing. Where you want to eat? I don't know. You got to know something, because otherwise we're going to end up at where I like to eat, which is pretty much anywhere. I'll eat anywhere. Although, being married to my wife, she likes to eat a little bit, you know, healthier. I end up eating where she wants to eat anyway, because a lot of the food that she eats is actually very good and it makes me feel good. So I'm winning. I win. And I win because I got somebody who genuinely really wanted to get to know me. And I'm winning and she's winning because she got somebody who wanted to get to know her while she met somebody that she really wanted to get to know. So IHOP. And right there would have been a fucking deal breaker, because like it or not, and I don't care, I don't give a fuck. I've worked in the restaurant business for 36 years, almost 37 years. And I've worked for world-renowned chefs, people that are on television right now. I've worked in places with dirt floors and places with marble floors and every place in between. And I'll tell you that my two favorite restaurants in the history of restaurants is 1, Sonny's Barbecue, and B, the IHOP, period. So if we can't go to fucking IHOP and get a Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity, you can fuck off. How about that? So, and that's the thing. If you can't go to IHOP, if you so bougie, uppity that you can't let your hair down, and come on, man, let's have some IHOP. Let's go to IHOP at 3 o'clock in the morning after we had done something great. I can't tell you how many times my wife and I have ended up at IHOP. All the time. And that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Somebody I don't have to worry about that pretentious bullshit. I don't have to worry about taking you someplace and buying you some Vouvet Clicquot. I don't have to worry about that. I could just be myself. I could walk in the store and sit down. I mean, I could walk in the store and come out with a bottle of fucking water and some crackers, and it wouldn't make a difference. And that is the type of person I want to be with, because that's the type of person who really is about me, who wants to be about me, who wants to know about me, what makes me tick. It's not what makes you tick. You know, because that's what it comes down to. You want me to think about you, but you do want to think about you too, and you don't want to think about me, and you don't want me to think about me. So I'm not dealing with that. I'm not ever going to deal with that. Denny's. I like Denny's too. They got some pancake puppies. I like pancake puppies. The gym. I can agree with that, though. You don't want to take somebody to the fucking gym because you might miss the fuck out. Church, unless you're a Christian and you want to go to church, you know. I mean, if I'm a Christian and you're not a Christian and you don't want to go to church, that's fine. I'll get with you after church. Simple as that. But I'm going to church. And vice versa. If you want to go to church and I don't go to church, why don't you handle that? That's not going to prevent me from getting to know you. You know what I'm saying? I'll get with you after that. If I don't want to go on your church on the first date, I'll let you know. I don't necessarily, but if I really want to get to know you, sure, I'll go to church with you on this is what you like to do. I'm trying to get to know you. Okay. Maybe it's not my bag, but if I really want to get to know you, sure, I might give it a shot. Why not? Why not? If it's that important to you. If it's not, then fuck it. I mean, then that's really what it comes down to. If it's not that important to you and you just think somebody else is better, then fine. You know, that you're entitled to that. No, but some people, that's what they want to do. There's nothing wrong with those people. There's nothing wrong with people taking people to that. And it's kind of a breath of fresh air that some people actually want to stay close to their faith and try and find somebody that's like-minded to stay close to their faith also. There's nothing wrong with that. Starbucks. Fuck a Starbucks. Coffee dates. See, I happen to think a coffee date, let's go sit down and have a cup of coffee or a donut and talk and see what's happening. How you doing? I'll meet you especially if you're busy. If you're busy, why the fuck not? Why not? I mean, I'll pick you up let's get a bagel, or what? I don't care, because it's not about the bagel. It's not about me buying something. It's about me getting to know you. And that's what it should be about. That's what it should always be about. But women these days are extremely manipulative, and they can be because they know, motherfuckers like fat ass and titties. They really do. So what do? They dress them up real nice. They make them smell real good. They put on these fucking caterpillar eyelashes and they bat their eyes a little bit, and all of a sudden you think you the man. You walking around with, this nice piece of arm candy, but meanwhile, this bitch has no intention on furthering anything past tonight with you. Meanwhile, you've spent, $200 fucking dollars. That's a pretty substantial, for a lot of people, that's a pretty substantial chunk of their weekly income. And they've just frivolously spent it on somebody that they may never see again. And that's why I think that no money, especially on a first date, should change hands. We should get to know each other, because ain't that's why we're here to begin with? Ain't that it? Ain't that the objective, to get? And I know if you want me to spend money, then you're not interested in me. That's the bottom line. You're not interested in getting to know me. You're just wanting to know if I can spend money on you. And quite honestly, shit, you don't even have to ask, and I'll spend my money on you. Depends on how I feel about you. My wife, I give her the shirt off my back. I give her anything I ever had in my pocket. Anything, anytime, anywhere, without question. She can have everything. Everything I have, she can have it. I wouldn't blink. She could just, hey, babe, yeah, sure, absolutely, baby, here you go. And I don't bitch. I don't moan. Here you go. Why? Because she returns it. But it's not even about that. It's about the symbiotic relationship. The relationship that we have with each other. We respect each other. We play off each other. We build on each other. We grow with each other. We connect on so many different levels. And that ultimately is what relationship is about. Not whether or not I could fucking, take you to a fucking hookah bar. Somewhere that requires a movie night, Netflix and Hulu and all that shit. That's a pretty good first date for some people, man. Some people are into that. You know what I'm saying? Fine. You don't want to go, then fucking don't. Somewhere that requires a long drive. Me and my wife drove around all fucking night. Okay? We drove, stopped here, walked, drove, stopped there, walked, drove, stopped. So much so that, we not only did we drive, we walked. Both. We drove and walked. So, it wasn't about whether or not I was spending any money on her. Not once did that ever fucking matter to her. Not once did it ever matter to her. Nightclubs. Now, I can kind of understand a nightclub, because on a first date, I want to get to know you. Simple as that. I want to get to know you. I'd rather sit someplace in a quiet room and talk to you. Just, maybe we could laugh a little bit, or walk on the beach and, try and find out about each other. I want to do that. a bar just for drinks. Well, we went and did that too. We had a couple of drinks and we went to another bar and a couple of more drinks and talked, and that was it. We walked and that's what we did. The Waffle House, I took her to Waffle House and she enjoyed the hash browns because she enjoys hash browns and sporting events, and she's a Bears fan. So, hey, all that shit, that whole list of places that just you can't be taken. I could take my wife to every single one of those places, and not only could I take her to those places, she would be happy. And the reason why she would be happy is because she would be with me. And that's ultimately what I want. So figure out what it is that you want, folks. Figure out what it is that you want. Do you want something like that? Do you want a piece of arm candy that don't give a fuck about you? Or do you want somebody who loves you for who you are? Who wants you, whether or not you work fucking fries at fucking McDonald's or you're the CEO of fucking, Sony Music. I don't know. Find out who it is you want. I'm going to take another break really fast, and when I come back, we'll wrap all this up. You are listening to the Deron Harris Podcast. I'll be right back, folks.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm talking about, where to take your girl on a first date. Would be a good first date. A lot of women don't want to go to a lot of different restaurants, and that's fine, whatever. But I got a few places that might be kind of cool to take people. Now, some women said that they don't want to do nothing strenuous. I don't want to go bowling. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. That means you're weak. You got no upper body strength, and you'd be worthless in the apocalypse, so I don't want to date you anyway. But, here's a couple of things that if you are with somebody who doesn't mind, these are some activities that aren't really centered around food that maybe you could do. And one of those things is you could go to like a museum. It's a great first date. A lot of interesting things to talk about. Very thought-provoking things that will get you to have your own opinions about things, or challenge or question knowledge, or present questions that you both, have about particular subjects. Museum is a great thing. I remember, I didn't go on a date. I just went because a planetarium would be great on a first date, I think, because they're so interesting. And I'm a nerd, and that's the cool thing about it. So is my wife. I'm a space nut. I love anything dealing with space and, jet propulsion laboratories and all that bullshit. And so does my wife. So that would have been a great first date for us. So, you never know. You never know. Another one that you could do is like dance lessons. Go to like salsa lessons. It's so, especially if neither one of you can dance. It's not like going to a club. It's something that forces you to let your hair down, be extremely vulnerable, and you might get a few laughs out of it. It might not be such a bad idea. Another place you could probably go would be a really good first date is like laser tag or something like that. I think laser tag, for me, because I'm that kind of dude. I play like Call of Duty and shit like that. My wife really doesn't, but my wife is this wife. She'll try anything once. And if she likes it, she'll continue to do it. And that's who she is. And she is resilient, and she perseveres through anything that she puts her mind to. So it doesn't really matter, because she constantly finds things that she is interested in that she didn't know that she was interested in, only because she had been introduced. And vice versa. The same thing. She does all kinds of things. And like, hey, baby, you want to try this? I'm like, at first. But then sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's go see. And we go see. And I have a great time. And one of the reasons I have a great time is because I am with my wife. I'm with my partner. I'm with somebody who we tried. We tried. Another thing you could do is you could go skating or ride a bike or something like that. Bike riding or something like that. Because skating, again, is one of those vulnerable moments. Now, the downside of that is somebody could fall and break their fucking leg. But it is a lot of fun, especially if you both can skate. I can skate. My wife can't. But I'm teaching her how so that we both can. So that we can have that in common too. So that we can stay active also. There's so many things that you can do. There's so many things that you can do on a first date. The possibilities really are endless. I mean, there really are. You could do something as simple as go watch airplanes take off from the airport and have a good time. And I am not kidding. It just depends on if you've chosen a person that wants to get to know you. And that is the most important thing to determine. Are you going on this date with this person that wants to get to know you? Am I expected to pay anything? If this person, and I tell you what, if I sit down and somebody starts talking about something, you going to pay for that? I'm going to get up and walk the fuck out. Simple as that. So, but I'm super glad I don't have to worry about that anymore. And hopefully this will help some of the people who do have to worry about it navigate through it. Because it can be tough, man. It really can be tough, especially in today's day and age. I mean, in this day and age, people just don't respect each other like they used to. They don't want to get to know each other like they used to. It's a status thing. It really is. It's a status thing. And and I hate to say it, a lot of it becomes about physicalities. People are looking at the way people look physically, and they're equating that to, I don't know what they're equating it to, but it's the wrong shit to equate it to. I know that. Now, my wife is super attractive, by the way. I didn't pick some sort of troll and just have her eaten out of the palm of my hands. It did require some work. And I said to her, I said to her, she said, all I want, I said, what is all I want is your time. That's all she wanted. That's the only thing she's ever said she's wanted from me is my time. And that right there. And I asked her that. I asked her that 3 months after we had been going out. What do you really want? What do you want? I want your time. All I want is your time. And I said, shit, that's it. And she got every fucking second. She got every waking minute, any second that I could. I was right there with her. And here we are today. So I'm here to tell you, folks, it can be done without any of that bullshit. It can be done even if you do take her to Applebee's. It can be done if you go to the Waffle House. It can still be done. You can have a wonderful relationship and a wonderful time with wonderful people at the motherfucking Cheesecake Factory. It can still be done. And fellas, like I said, keep standing your fucking ground. If somebody's like, I don't eat at the Cheesecake Factory, then bitch, go eat your ass at Popeyes. How about that? That's going to do it for this week's episode of the Deron Harris Podcast. I want to thank my parents for being the best parents in the world. But on this particular episode, I really want to thank my wife. I want to thank you so much, Yvonne Harris, for being the absolute best wife in the world, man. For real, man. For being somebody who is real to me. For being somebody who didn't expect me to be anything else other than me. Somebody who didn't put any constraints on me. Somebody that didn't say, hey, put up a shut up. And then it's none of that. So I want to thank you, babe. I really do. I love you very, very much for that. And you're going to get every single drop or whatever love you could get from me, squeezed all and rang all the way fuck out. I want to thank my best friend and producer, Jesse Yandel, for giving me the courage and the cheat sheet to do my podcast. I want to thank Gentry Thomas for giving me the platform on the podcast playground, folks. And I want to thank last but not least, my listeners and everybody who continues to listen to me to this day. Hopefully I'm giving you better content, and if I'm not, just drop it in my DM what you guys want to talk about, what you want to hear about. You can reach me at www. I don't think we even do www anymore. You can reach me at DeronHarris.com. That's DeronHarris.com. And you can also look me up on all the social media, with the exception, I don't think I have Snapchat, and I'm getting ready to really delete my Twitter page. So I do have a Facebook, and it's Deron Harris, and I do have an Instagram, Deron Harris, and I have a YouTube as well, and it is also Deron Harris. So come check me out, folks. All right? So until next week, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. All right? Peace.
You've been listening to the Deron Harris Podcast. Subscribe to the show, give a good rating, and everything you need to know is at DeronHarris.com.